you to save me. I don't need you to cure me. I don't need you and your antidote, for I am my disease. I don't need you to free me. I don't need you to help me. I don't need you to lead me through the light. I will always fall and rise again. You're venomous, howling, 'cause I'm a survivor. Yeah, I am a fighter. I will fall and rise above, and in your hate I find love, 'cause I'm a survivor. Yeah, I am a fighter. I wanna hide my face. I wanna run from grace. I'll walk into the fire, baby. All my life I was afraid to die, but now I come alive inside this place. You don't want me to love you. You don't want me to need you. You don't want to look at me, for you were torn to stone. You don't want me to hurt you. You don't want me to bite you. You don't want me on my aching soul, but I will only fall, rise again, you venomous, howling. I'm a survivor. I am a fighter. I will fall, rise above, and in your hate I find love, 'cause I'm a survivor. Yeah, I'm a fighter. I wanna hide my face. I wanna run from grace. I'll walk into the fire, baby. All my life I was afraid to try, but now I come alive inside this I don't need you to save me, 'cause I'm a survivor. Yeah, I am a fighter. I wanna hide my face. I wanna run from grace. I'll walk into the fire, baby. All my life I was afraid to try, but now I come alive inside this
Hello everyone, it's Veronica Bartolini with Unchained Hearts. I hope you are all having a great Tuesday night, as I am, because I have the pleasure of introducing Aida Fahat. Welcome, Aida.
Thank you.
Tell us about yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, this is exciting, and I appreciate you inviting me on your show, Veronica. Um, I don't have an official bio, as you know, so I'll share a little bit about myself. I am 52 years old. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. I grew up in Maryland, the youngest of 12 children.
12.
Yes. I'm half Palestinian, Irish, Scottish. I am bloodline on both sides. And I had my spiritual awakening in 2011, although I think that I had some smaller aha moments, if you will, epiphanies, realizations throughout my life up until the main awakening, where I was woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning and was told by Spirit to go outside. And I listened, and I noticed like energy bodies in the trees, like silhouettes. And I felt an overwhelming sense of peace and love. And I start noticing days later, intuitively, I was getting a lot of downloads. I noticed that I was able to use telepathy with people. Everything I would say was manifesting. I decided to start writing a book called Little Sisters Lost Soul. Got 200 book pages into it and the cover done, and then a lot of things happened. Well, some other things happened prior to. I started writing the book in a place I was living at, and ended up moving into my own apartment, and a lot of anomalies started taking place. So I don't know where you want to go with that, but that's the gist of. I've been told that I've been using my lab. I've been contacted, part of the Kruger, my lab program, or I don't even know what you want to call it, mind control program.
Mm-hmm. You said you spoke to Peter the Insider about that too?
I did. Years ago, I spoke with Peter and had a pretty in-depth discussion with him, but he had told me, so I struggled with drugs and alcohol throughout my life. I went through a lot of the same things that a lot of people that are been brought up in these projects or part of these programs of drugs and alcohol, sexual abuse, physical abuse, narcissistic relationships, men controlling, dominating. I never did really well with that because I'm not a person like once you can knock me down, but you can't keep me down. And at some point I would always run or leave, get away, but I would attract that same. So I was dating the same man with a different face for a very long time.
You know what? I thought that happened to me too. And we'll call the normal people, they and also in the awakening, I guess you can call it the new age. A lot of the times they would tell me, oh, it's because you haven't fully healed. And I'm like, nah. And I realized, I understood. I don't like to say realize because that's like real lies. That's just me though. I understood that these men were actually being sent to me through, the CIA or whatever, because we are targeted individuals. And I seriously, at first I did say, oh my gosh, maybe it's my fault. And I did start healing, obviously, like we all do, right? When we start to awaken, and prior to that, I was always questioning myself, well, why me? Like, what am I doing wrong? But do you also agree that I, like myself, that they're sent to you also? That it's not just because you haven't healed totally?
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And I have a particular story around that. We've heard of the Eve Lorgan mentioning or writing a book called The Love Bite Scenario. Right. So what happens from what I've gathered in my own experience, that especially once you've awakened, I had a Kundalini awakening. So all my chakras were lit up, and I was walking around basically like a lit up light bulb, not aware of what was going on,
Right.
because I didn't know anything about Kundalini, anything prior to my awakening. This is information and dialogue that I start having afterwards, not really understanding what was happening to me. So when I moved into this apartment in downtown Silver Spring, I went on dating sites. I'm going to look for my beloved. I'm going to find somebody,
Right.
you know, that I can build a life with, and so forth, so on. And I met one guy that I dated for a short time, which is the person that was sent to basically drain me of my energy through sex. And we're all adults here. I'm pretty open about this because these are things that we need to be aware of, being women and men for that matter, but we're talking about women right now. So I was being targeted and didn't really understand what was happening. My house got broke. Well, that happened after he left. Anyways, long story short, so I met this guy that I really thought he was my world. This is it. I'm going to get married, and, you know, or we're going to be together and build a life together. And I just noticed certain behaviors, and my intuition has always been very high, like very connected to my intuition, but I would ignore all the signs because, you know, you just don't want to believe that, you know, until I find out. And then when I found out, I told him he had to leave, but that was after having been drained of my energy and so forth. And
Right. I have a quick question. Did you also,
it was a painful breakup. I mean, I laid in the bed for, I don't know, almost 2 months, just crying my eyes out. Like, how could this happen to me? And why? And yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, with the love bite, what I found out recently is that they, meaning the powers that be or the programs, will find someone that could possibly be what they call a twin flame with the gifts that you also might have, you know. So they put us together with these men that, you know, you fall in love, and what I noticed is like, oh, the man will be head over heels for like 2 or 3 months, you know, passionate sex, you name it, gifts and everything, and all of a sudden they either run or get scared or say something happens to where they're not interested anymore. And I know that these are signs also of the love bite. Has that happened to you, where when you were with these partners or this partner in specifically, did you share a lot of enlightening moments, I guess you can say, because they do use our energy when we are with that person for their benefit?
Absolutely. Well, I definitely think that my energy was being used against me. I mean, I had used against me to manipulate and dominate and control me, to keep me from, from my understanding, I went up. Everything was bright, beautiful. You know, I was manifesting out of thought. Life was so beautiful. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And so what happens is, when you're lit up like that, you're basically, when you have a Kundalini awakening, your crown chakra is wide open. You're seeing not just in the 3D realm, but you're seeing from higher realms that you are somebody that is now awakened. Your DNA is activated. You have skills that are, you know, spiritual gifts that are now online. And especially if you are a threat, and women, I mean, in particular women, they will come after women that, because we hold light in our womb, and they use that power, yes, for their benefit. Also to keep the women dominated and controlled, manipulated. Right?
Yes.
But what I realized too, Veronica, now looking back, retrospect, I'm thankful that I went through. No, it wasn't pleasant going through it, but if I learned anything, I learned to love myself again. I realized that I was reaching outside of myself constantly, be it drugs, men, sex, food, shopping. It didn't matter. Anything, I was constantly reaching out for something outside of me to make me feel whole, to feel valuable, to feel worthy. And it took me going through that experience to finally just say, this is it, I'm done. And I got off all because I've been diagnosed, all these different diagnoses. That's a whole nother thing. My doctor threatening me going out the door. I didn't understand what was happening to me. I went to go, back to once the guy and I had split up, another person came who was 6'4", Denzel swag, in the Air Force. And I had spoke with Laura Eisenhower, and she said, I had to stay away from him. He's the shape-shifting reptilian. And I didn't listen because I was very curious. I wanted to know, who are these people? What are they showing up in my life for? Like, I knew intuitively something was wrong, but I didn't get what was happening. Like, I didn't understand what was going on. And he said to me, and I said to him, I was like, you got to know that I know that you're here for more than just because you like me. And he said, I didn't know you were. I said it to him. Rick Johnson was his name. He worked at the Pentagon the last 5 years of from what he told me. And I saw pictures. Last five years of his service. He was in the Air Force, and he worked at the Pentagon IT. And and he would show up at my house at odd times, and I knew that they were able to do abductions through Wi-Fi. So I had left and went to Arizona and noticed this horrific odor outside the casita. Outside, my sister had a house, and then she had a casita in Arizona where guests would stay. And it smelled like really strong, like overpowering urine, just really, like, I knew it wasn't normal. And I understand that Dracos, that's a common odor that they leave behind when they're around, or when they're around, you notice people pick that odor up.
Yes.
The smell. Anyways, long story short, when I came back home, and I hadn't seen this guy in over a month, and he showed up at my door, and I lived in a secured building. So there's no way that he could get in. Then he's like, oh, well, I just stood outside and waited for somebody to come in. I could get in. And what was funny, I knew I changed the Wi-Fi, changed everything in my apartment, and I turned around and gave him my information again. And sure enough, I see my body hanging from the ceiling. I hear this loud noise. And they had taken me and brought me back. But there was a time in 2014, I was taken, and I was gone for a long time. And I know I was.
What do you remember from being taken in 2014?
I don't remember what happened during that particular abduction, but I have a good idea of what took place, but some things I'm going to not talk about right now because
I respect you. Yeah.
But I will just say that I was signing everything 2016, and it was only 2014. And I thought that people were going to think I'm crazy because every time I sign something, I'm putting 2000. Why do I keep signing 2016? So there was a 2-year gap there. That was
last time.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. It was 2014, but I'm signing 2016. I think they moved me off a timeline. Is what they. I think they did some manipulation. Yeah. So, but he and I went back and forth, and he would get frustrated because I kept saying, Rick, what are you doing here? What is your purpose? Did they send you? And he would get frustrated. It's like, Ida, can we just not, I think it bothered him to an extent, but I think he was definitely reptilian. Like I noticed one of his pinkies was missing. There was just odd things that, you know, he's probably a droid. I don't know, or I don't know what he was. But anyways, I was being used as a sex slave. What I'm thinking, I'm looking for a lover, and I'm having all these different men, and, you know, I was reaching out to certain people for help that I now know weren't really interested in helping me, rather get information from me, because I hold a Pleiadian soul and Lemurian, right? But they didn't want me to know I was Lemurian because they didn't want me to know the soul I behold. And I know. And that's really not important, other than the fact that I've been targeted because of my lineage. That's right.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, Veronica, I am definitely fascinated with the super soldier information. Max Spears is one of my biggest teachers, him and James Casbolt. Of any of them, those two I learned so much from. And I just, for me, it's like I trust that information I need to know will always reveal itself, make way to me. And I don't need to search for more than that. I've worked very hard to do a lot of healing, deprogramming. I've been celibate and single for 3 years by choice. Not because I can't, you know, simply so that I could get myself grounded and back into my heart and try to understand why I would, well, what happened to me, but more importantly, why I ignored all the signs and continued to play the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to do, I don't know about abandonment with you, but I have abandonment issues from both parents. And, you know, when I was a little kid, they would always teach us, oh, you know, you're going to be a mom one day. Basically, they want to marry us women off. So that way, you know, like in the old days, they had the dowry and they would match people up. And, you know, I grew up thinking, oh, you know, I got to get married and my marriage is going to be forever. And I was playing with dolls and, you know, of course with the boys, you know, going up the trees, climbing the trees or whatever. But I just knew that I was meant for something greater, and I always strived. You know, I had all these careers. I went to the university. I did everything that I could in my power, because I'm like, I'm not going to just be a sit down, stay at home mom. No offense to those that are great at doing that. And I was a really good mom and wife, but I just feel that this programming, it doesn't really help, you know, that you feel as a child that your parents are just wanting to get rid of you, you know, and marry you off to somebody so that they don't have that responsibility. But I just feel that as women, as with boys and girls, also kids, we should be able to instill in them that there's more to that. There's more to life than you know, than just being a stay-at-home mom.
Well, I agree with you 100%, but I mean, this also goes into, I mean, it just depends on a person's, what they want for themselves, what they desire, their dreams, right? A lot of times you end up, especially when we're young and we don't have true guidance, you know, I don't have children, and I'm thankful for that now. Now, I went through a time where I felt, you know, I mourned that, because I love children, and I have lots of nieces and nephews and so forth, but I had some health issues, and I believe that I probably agreed to that prior to coming in, not to, for other reasons that I won't get into. But the point is, this has been going on for so long, where women are either passed down, sold, you're talking about dowries. I mean, in the Arabic culture, that's what, you know, if a man wants to marry a woman, he talks to the parents, asks the father for the hand, but there's always an exchange of either money, gold, some, not always, but that's a typical
Tradition.
that takes place in the Arabic culture. And I never, I never bought into any of that. Like, my brother and sister both married Arabs. Two of us. My mother had 9 children, met my father, and had 3 more. So my mother, I believe, was used as a
breeding program.
I believe that she had 12 kids.
Yeah.
And her mother was the youngest of 13. Scottish. But I think she was used for a breeding program for sure. And I think a lot of things happened to my older siblings that before I was born, that were, they were put in different programs or traumas that took place. Like, I lost a brother that I definitely know was used in these super soldier program. And he went through, I mean, his life was just horrific, and it's sad. But what was I going to say? There was a point in me saying that. Oh, that we watch TV, we watch these Cinderella programming, we get this idea of what life is supposed to be like. You go through school, you graduate, you either go to college or you get married and you settle down and you have children, right? And a lot of times, by the time you become a teenager and you turn 18, you have no idea what you want in your life. Like, I'm 52 years old. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do.
Right.
I mean, I know I want to do humanitarian work, but I've done all kinds of different work, different jobs that I've had. But we're just misguided in the way culture says we're supposed to be, the way women are supposed to. We're nurturers, we're lovers, we're caregivers. That's part of our nature of being the divine feminine. But we lose ourselves in being that.
Right.
We lose ourselves. And we're always concerned, and when I say we, there are some that aren't, but I'm saying on a whole, from my experience and people I've met, that we put everybody else before ourselves. We don't take care of ourselves.
Exactly.
And then people say, well, love yourself. You can't love anybody until you love yourself. Okay, I don't know that I necessarily believe that, because I've loved a lot of people and haven't really put myself first or loved myself. But I love myself in a different way today. In a way that, I enjoy my own company. I love who I am. I say to myself every day, you're amazing, Ida. People, if I really got into details of what I've experienced, which I'm really a person that likes to talk about solutions rather than keep talking about all the horrific things, because I just don't see my life the way I used to. Like, we can't change what happened to us, but we can change our perspective of how we see it. And when we can see from a higher perspective, we realize that, wow, I learned so much. And yes, it was painful, but it's really created this person with a lot of, what's the word? Like, a lot of, it's like cooking when you use all these different spices and a lot of, what's the word I want to use? I can't think of the word. A lot of flavor to my life. Yeah. I've had many lovers. I've done a lot of things and I've had a lot of fun. I'm not, I've done things and I've been in a lot of pain and balled up in the bed. I mean, life is an ebb and flow of different experiences, but I realized that after dating or getting involved in relationships where I was constantly putting men's needs, thinking that I had to be obedient to my man.
Right.
I've always been an outgoing, loving, fun person, and I attract men that want to tame me or restrict me or stop me from shining my light, right? And I'm a go-getter. I won't wait for anybody to do anything. I'll do it myself. I don't need, I've had that kind of, I've had to. Yeah. I mean, it's part of. I have to. Yeah, surviving, but I don't want to survive anymore. Right. I trust that great things are happening. This year is huge, and I I just know that if we just stay in our hearts and we unite and we come together, and especially women, and we support each other, it is through our love and our nurturing and our commitment to rising to the occasion that things are going to really turn around. But
Right.
you mentioned sovereignty. Sovereignty is a very personal endeavor. Nobody can give that to you. And I tell people that all the time. How do I become sovereign? Choose your own, think for yourself,
Right.
choose what's good for you, and nothing wrong with asking other people for help, but you have to think for yourself and make your own choices and decisions. What are you agreeing to that you don't want to? Ask
Right.
yourself why.
Because
You know
then
what I
you
mean?
become better as a person. I noticed that I would always put, when I was married, the husband and the kids first. And, even if I didn't want to do things, it's like, oh, because I have to, because I'm this submissive person. I was in the programming of the Catholic and the Christian church. I don't do religion anymore. I don't go to church. I am my own church. I am my own divine sovereign being. I am my own badass bitch, like they say. And it took me years to be able to say, I am a badass bitch, but meaning in a good way, not, how they speak in the other way. But when I was able to find my power, that's what we were talking about last night, to look within instead of trying to find something outside of us, like the shopping especially. Oh my goodness, I was so addicted to shopping when years ago. And it was because I had this emptiness, and I would always say, what's wrong with me? What, I need this or I need that fix. I was also an alcoholic. And one day I had my awakening, and I'm like, that's it. As I was sharing the other day, I was on they had me on all kinds of medication. And 2 years, or going on 3 now, I said, no more. And it's really hard for me today to actually hang out with people that like to drink 24/7 because I don't find that I need it. Sure, I'll drink here and there if it happens, but because I work out so much and I activate my DNA in different ways, my meditation is working out. Or being in my bed, I did meditation for 3 whole months. Can you believe it? It was so hard to stand still. This is still, but I just feel. Where was I going with this?
It's okay. We're just having a. I get it.
Yeah, there's a fine line, a balance, being service to others and then putting yourself first. I was always taught like yourself. I also have Persian blood on my dad's side to put others first and to sacrifice yourself.
Right. That's the word, sacrifice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're taught. We are. Yeah. We. I think these programs are. Especially when. I mean, I really didn't want to go into this, but
It's fucked up.
I mean, yeah. When you are being molested and sexually abused, we either go overboard and we think that having sex is we don't say that in our mind, but subconsciously having that connection we crave so much. You talked about abandonment issues.
Yes.
I've definitely, and I'm looking to really heal that aspect of myself now. That is my, as much as I think I never really noticed how it bothered me that my father wasn't around. I mean, it definitely did, but why he left, why wasn't he around, so forth, and that I would continue to attract men that were not emotionally unavailable, that were only interested in sex, and they may not say that. They tell you all the good things that you want to hear, but they or little boys that were in grown men's bodies that were looking for their mama. I'm not your mama. Right?
Exactly.
But then I would play that role of taking care of them, making sure they do, being, and it's this, I think overextending is just as toxic as not, so we have to learn how to balance ourselves. And that's something that I've really have been looking to heal within me, or at least integrate those aspects of myself that think that I have to, do something for somebody to see my value, that I have to give them a gift for them to see my value. Don't you see how great I am? I do all these great things for you.
Thank you. Exactly.
We don't say that, but that's the energy that we put off. Like, look how great I am. Look what I do for you.
Yeah, and then having sex, a lot of sex and with different partners and all that, it's like you feel that that's what the man wants, So with the Sex Kitten program that I was in, and I know you were into, it's you're subconsciously taught that you have to please the man in every which way, and then but what about the woman in sex too? And sometimes we're adults here, so we were trained to please the man first, but what about us? What about them servicing us? It was always go to the man first and do whatever he needs to have done to perform or whatever, and then the woman would be just left to like, okay, well, now what about me? But now that I'm older, I question that. What about me? And I put myself first now. Because we're so used to giving, and it depletes our energy. And
of course it does.
And we have the Stargate, the womb. And I had a question too, like a month ago. They're like, well, what if you had a hysterectomy? It doesn't matter. Your Stargate is still cultivating creation. You're still.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because I was told that my body was being used as a Stargate. I was told that. And when I start becoming aware of like my sexual energy being drained or being siphoned, the energy being allotted, like I talked to Christopher Jacobs, I'll put a little plug in for him. He's amazing. If you want to get anybody to really help you with implants and clearings, and he's amazing. He's worth every dollar.
Christopher.
Yeah, I did an interview with him on my YouTube channel. I'll send it to you. He's amazing. But I said that's it. I mean, I'm not having sex anymore. I'm not giving anybody not one more energy. Not one. And if I feel to please myself, I will. I mean, I don't, because I haven't. I just haven't. I just feel like there's times when I'm like, God, I wish I had a lover, or it would be nice to have a beloved. It's not been a priority for me, because so many other things are important to me. Like, I'm so proud of you. You've lost weight, and you've done, you're amazing and beautiful, Veronica. You are. And I admire you. And it takes a lot of courage for us to come on these shows and talk openly about this kind of stuff. These are things that women, need to be able to confide and talk with one another, and not worry about being judged or looked at as, some whatever. Like, I've never really had a big, I've never had that problem with women. Like, I've never really had women love me. I've always been able to, I've never had an issue, but I've watched it with women being catty to other women and hurtful and so forth, and I don't care for it. Yeah, I don't play that game. I think they know that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's what upsets me, is the jealousy thing between women.
It's not necessary. It's so ridiculous. But I've always been a pretty confident person, so, and I've always lifted other women. Like, I've never seen anybody as my, if you're beautiful, I'll say you're beautiful. I don't see women as my competition. I see if you're beautiful, I'm going to say you're beautiful. And I'm not interested in women, so don't miss it.
Exactly.
Other women up because, not because I have to, because I'm a lover of love, and I love women, and I want to see them succeed. I want them to be confident and to walk in great dignity and honoring and respecting themselves. We have been taught everything other than that. That even married women, that woo their husband so they can get a new car or a new necklace or a new ring. It's like,
That's
why
crazy.
do we have to do that?
We
You
shouldn't
know?
have to.
Or a man will say, if I want to get some ass tonight, I'm going to have to take her out and buy her a new freaking Louis Vuitton. It's like ridiculous. It's like we're always bartering for no, and we don't need to do that anymore.
Right.
Once you really fall back in love with who and what you are, listen, I've done so many things in this life that I wasn't proud of for a very long time, and I have learned to accept that about myself. It's not who I am today, and I don't really care to, I've walked away from, I moved from Maryland to Florida because I just said, this is it. 2 suitcases in my soul. I'm gone. I'm not going to be a part of their program. I'm not going to play the game anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do any of, what I've been conditioned to believe is who and what I'm supposed to be. I'm not any of that.
Right.
And yeah.
See, that's the beauty, is that when we become free, when we free ourselves, a lot of men don't like that. And like you said, they want to tame you, but you can't tame a wild stallion, because we come into our power, we come into our gifts, we use them, we say no more. Ya basta. That's it. I'm done. And I don't give a damn what, they think or whatever. And it takes, like you said, it takes courage, because I was also threatened. Hey, if you're going to talk about what happened in your past or with the ex, what really happened, they threatened me. And there was a family member. But I kept going. I had to talk about what happened. I had to talk about, the molestations, the rape, all that, because to me, I feel more free. I freed the chains. That's why I called my channel Unchained Hearts, to unchain our hearts, one chain at a time, one issue at a time. And a lot of people will say, in my surroundings or community or family, we were taught as kids, it's like, don't tell anybody anything. Don't air your laundry, like they say.
That's what my mother said to me too.
Right?
Not telling. I mean,
yeah.
Because people don't want to deal with their shadow self. They don't want to deal with the horrific. We all have our own darkness. Listen, let me tell you, when I have my awakening, okay, my shadow self really showed itself in a big way.
Mine did too. Yeah.
And but I have learned to say, okay, I see you, meaning me. Like, I see you, because we think it's something outside of us, but it's ourself creating the whole scenario. Not that we don't get targeted.
Right.
We do. But that by the choices that we make during the time of the awakening, the dark night of the soul, the choices, we will be tested, and things will present themselves, and it's how we deal with them. I was told I was going through an initiation by somebody that I love very dearly. I'll just say that. Who I've had a real difficult time understanding the part, him showing up into my life and who he was on a different level to me. Anyways, I had to accept that these were aspects of myself that for the experience to reveal my own darkness, for me to have a look at where I was giving my power away, what I was saying yes to when I meant no, how I was in apathy, where I wasn't willing to stand up for myself. And all the things, because I never seen myself as a victim, but I allowed myself to be victimized. I allowed myself, so it's not their fault. I allowed that because because of my lack of self-worth, value, and compassion for myself. I didn't know how to get out of my own way. I was trying to control everything because there was just so much happening so quickly, and I went right back into old behaviors, doing old things. But I learned so much. I'm so thankful. I wouldn't be where I'm at today had I not experienced what I experienced. I had to be knocked on my ass and some to get it. Because so many times I had the opportunity, I would get clean and sober, stay clean for a couple of years, go back, get in a relationship thinking, oh, I'm clean and sober now, and now I've done all this great work on myself, and now I'm ready for a relationship, and I never really did the internal work.
It would backfire, right?
Yeah, I never took the time for myself. So that's why I'm not in any rush to get in it. It's not that I can't meet somebody. I could very easily. It's not my priority because loving myself is my priority right now. So it's not that if I met somebody and I maybe, was sweet on them, that I wouldn't consider it. But I think I have this, not wall up, but I think that I think that the energy that I put out when it comes to men, it's very clear that I have no patience for nonsense anymore.
Right.
And you better bring to the table what I bring, or I don't have. No,
exactly. Out.
Yeah. I will never settle for less again. I will never allow somebody to speak poorly to me and treat me poorly. And it doesn't matter whether it's family, a man, friends. It doesn't matter because I honor and respect everybody, and I expect that back. And if you don't want to give it to me, it's okay too. I love you, but I'm walking away. Like I don't wait for the big blow up and all the nonsense. Just I've learned to set some boundaries.
There you go. Self-respect. Because if you don't respect yourself, then even if you don't say it, obviously because you're not saying it, but with your actions, they're going to feed off of it, and they're going to, take more advantage of you, per se, you meaning everybody, whatever.
Well, there are Europeans out there that look for women that have low self-esteem, because they feed on right. And women do it to men too. It's not just men doing it to women. Yeah. I know that I've used my feminine. Part of my introduction in my book, I wrote, I was trapped and consumed by the insanity of my mind, jailed from the freedom to have peace in my sleep, to feel safe by those that were supposed to protect me, and valued by people that had no concept of what the innocence of a child meant. I keep going. The introduction's mind-blowing. And I'll share, if you want, I'll share. It's hold on.
I'm holding.
No, I'm trying to remember. I've memorized it for so long, and now it's like, God, I haven't shared it in so long that I'm not.
It's something to do with the innocence.
Oh, I'm trying to think at the beginning of. Let me see if I hold on one second.
Okay. I like your pillows. So while Ida's getting the information, this is a call-in show. Katie, what is the phone number if you want to put it up? So
the live
call, or you can say it.
The live call-in number is 929-436-2866 with a meeting ID number 522-657-2748. It is up on the live stream broadcast right at the bottom of the screen there. And you can call in anytime you want.
Yay.
Okay. Y'all want to hear the introduction?
Yes.
The book is called Little Sister's Lost Soul. The introduction goes like this. I've always known that I've been blessed with a spiritual eye. I say that with every bit of humility I'm humanly capable of. The challenge always is removing my ego and feminine wiles. As I've just recently discovered, I've denied everything I was because everything I was human. And I didn't like what thoughts were created through my mind of flesh. I know my true self, that is the Spirit of God that dwells and lives within me. I am in love with me. When I pray and practice meditation, I'm at my best to stay spiritually conditioned for a higher learning, which only the God of my understanding can teach me in this beautiful gift of life, and fill my spirit with the spirit of love and truth. When I stay in the spirit of God, not of the flesh, I do his will, not mine, because my will is his. Higher learning. I was trapped and consumed by the insanity of my mind, jailed from the freedom to have peace in my sleep, to feel safe by those that were supposed to protect me, and valued by people that had no concept of what the innocence of a child meant, and rightfully what should have never been taken from me. Born into a family I didn't feel I belonged from a very small child. People who didn't love me, though I loved them anyways. I'm at a place in my life where I'm meeting Ida for the first time. This experience will be never ending, because as I believe to be a truth myself, life has always changed. The goal is to practice being in the moment and living your purpose to the best you're humanly capable. I hope by writing this book, I'll be able to help other men and women who may have struggled from pain and healing from sexual, physical, mental, and emotional abuse, or any other of its kind. Unknown value and esteem will no longer exist. When we together can heal from the sadness in our hearts and make a difference in each other's lives through simply giving of oneself. I find that to be very simple. A kind thought, which can change into being a kind word and become a kind act. That to me is simply extending love to another human being.
That's beautiful, Ida.
I think I said it. Thank you.
Yes.
I think I got it right. I might have been off a few words here or there, but I'll tell you, when I wrote that, I had moved into the apartment and I had no furniture. I had nothing. I had a desk, a bed, and like a little love seat out in my living room. No music, like radio, nothing. And I'm sitting there and I'm just writing. And at this time, when I would be writing, like I wouldn't know if it was day or night outside. Like I was in the zone, big time.
Yeah. Nice.
And I heard this, ah! And I'm like, okay, where's the sound coming from? And I realized it because sometimes something behind me, or it'll be in front of me, but it sounds like it's coming from behind me, or vice versa. So I was trying to focus in on where the sound was coming from, and I realized I rolled my chair up at the desk and listened to the speakers of the computer, and it was the angelic music playing through the speakers.
That's
and I was
beautiful.
like, okay, I got you.
That's beautiful. I often wake up and because I listen to this meditation, it's rain, thunder, and wind, and then before that it's just like just little tunes here and there, you know, the same thing, like through waves. But I've often woken up with angelic music, and in my dreams I will hear angelic music. I will be playing an instrument. I can play a concerto in my mind, you know, but it's so beautiful when you wake up and it's like, wait, the neighbors, they're not playing anything. I'm not playing anything. And it's just beautiful. You know, there has been some times where I have a few videos where it's like angelic voices, but in my voice, like 1,000 beings will say speaking like at the same time that I'm speaking. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but it's so beautiful when that happens.
That's lovely, Veronica.
That's
so lovely. That's beautiful. Oh, you know, a long time ago. That's so beautiful.
To love my
I think it was 2004. Like I always get like I'll have dreams before things will happen. And
right, me too.
I've had many of those.
It's so cool, right?
Yeah. But I was really at a really dark place in my life at one time, and several times, but this particular time was just really it for me. And I decided I didn't want to be here anymore. I was in my apartment by myself, and I took a bunch of pills. And I said, God, I'm laying down now. I don't know if I'm going to get up, but I'm laying down. And I took the pills. I said, okay, I'm laying down now. Like negotiating, like this hand's going to come through the ceiling or something and stop me. But it didn't happen that way. And I laid down, and I I crossed over. And I just remember like walking, and I went through this wall like this whoosh, like into another time and space. And I looked around and I seen like a river of water, and I see my footprint fading out and this big mountain in front of me. And then all of a sudden I noticed I had no hands, no body, no nothing, but I was conscious. And I said, God, if you're real, show me. And the only thing I heard was, I am. The next day, Veronica, I woke up and I didn't have to be taken to the hospital to get my stomach pumped. I didn't have any repercussions of taking all these pills. Nothing. I'm running around, I'm like, God spoke to me in a dream, and I'm telling everybody, and they're like, oh, okay, Ida, right? Then I go home and turn on PBS. I never watch PBS, and here's Deepak Chopra talking about consciousness.
Oh, wow.
So then I start, right, like all these synchronicities, things are happening. And then I go in drug rehab, and this old black lady, one of the counselors, says, do you know who I am is? And I'm like, nope, I don't know who I am is. I'm telling her the story. And she said in the Bible, he says, God says, I am that I am. Right? Mm-hmm. But that's a whole nother thing. Because, well, yeah, I mean, the God of the Bible and who I believe to be I believe in, I like to use the word source or prime creator because I do. And I definitely know that I come from, I'm one of the originals without a doubt. And I've got some information about that, but I'm not ready to share about that. I don't know that I ever will be because I don't know that it's necessary. But I believe that if it comes a day that it's needed, that it's for the betterment, then I will.
Yeah.
I just want everybody to. Yeah. Maybe one day. Yeah. But I'm definitely connected to I'm definitely.
The same bloodline that I'm connected to.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's okay. It's not, when I first had my awakening and I was getting the downloads and people that didn't even know me were like calling me, telling me you're so-and-so and whatever. And I'm like, okay. And then there was an ego thing that came up, right? Like, because I always knew that there was something different about me. I just didn't know what growing up. Mm-hmm. And I questioned like my dad and my mom and just my life and so many things that just kept, like, my name's Ida, which is the divine feminine. Right. It means in Arabic, visitor, return, and reward. I was born in the state of Maryland. I'm the youngest of 12. My middle name is Isa. I could go on and on and on about all the like little things like that. Even my freaking license plate says LYJU8. U is 21. 8 in 21. U is the 21st letter of the alphabet. Add that up to the 3. It's 11. LY. Love you, Jesus. 11. Mm-hmm. And my door is 9. The built where I live at's 13. Like, just everything. These are.
Yes.
But it just kind of makes you say, okay, there's something.
No, it is. It's synchronicity, and there's also like the ley lines of our zodiac. If you look it up, it's like this is the best place where you should live, blah, blah, blah. So,
I'd love to be able to figure out that one because I don't plan on staying in Jacksonville. I want to move.
Yeah,
I'd love to know where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, there's an equation, and I have a video. I can send you the link or whatever, but it's fascinating to me. Speaking of ley lines, I lived in Hollywood through the Rodney King beatings and all that, and the earthquakes, the fire, the looting. It was crazy. And I thought, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. But I craved coming back to Tucson so bad. I was there about 6 months, maybe 7, and I came back. I love Tucson. I thought about moving, but my dad brought us over here. I was born in Mexico, and I've been here since I was in 2nd grade, and I just love it here. I do miss the ocean because I love the ocean. The ocean calls me. But it's like, well, maybe I am supposed to be here. Like when everything happened in March, last year, where people were going crazy, and um, I heard this one person say, if your frequency, if your divine self feels good where you are, stay put. But if you're being called to move, then now is the time. And a
Yeah.
lot of my friends did move to places where they can make their own wealth, grow their own food. And there are some times where I'm sitting in bed trying to sleep, and it's like, what if this? What if that? What if they take over the apartment? What if, and I'm thinking, I will be provided for. I will have the food for
Correct.
my daughter.
Mhm.
I will be provided for.
That's right.
If I am to stay here doing what I'm doing now, then I should not worry.
Yeah, Veronica, what about so we want to get you some funds, some donations so that we can get you out to LA. I mean,
We're
do you
going to
guys
Las
have
Vegas.
huh?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Okay, so those that are listening, this is live. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, let's ask. I mean, is there a donation button? It's okay to ask for help. If
I know.
let's
It's
just say
hard to
there's
ask for
50
help.
people listening. If 50 people donate $10, that's $500.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm willing to donate something to help.
Thank you. Yeah, I have PayPal, I have Venmo, I have Cash App, and I've been saving, saving for my room, because I do have enough for 2 nights, but I have to be there 5 nights. I did pay for the airfare already. Then I have to come up with food. It's like, I already paid to speak the $500. We don't make money, like I tell people. We're just there telling our story. And
Well, I'm a little
it's
taken back by that, to be honest with you. I just
yeah,
don't know how they charge people to share their story, and then they're
yeah,
making all this money, and they're getting for tickets and everything. I know they have to pay for the location and all this other stuff, but that just seems. I mean, if you get 20 speakers at 500 apiece, or 10 speakers at 500 apiece, that's what 10 times 5. That's 10 times 5 is $5,000,
hmm
right?
hmm
You spend say $2,000 on a place, plus you're paying. People are paying for tickets. They're paying to come and listen to the speakers. Like whoever's doing these, I just don't. I don't agree with it. But that's just my personal perspective. I'll never pay $500 to share my story with anybody.
Yeah, I'm
I'm not
supposed
saying
to.
that you're wrong. I'm saying
Oh no,
people that are setting these things up,
right,
there's got to be a more fair exchange. Put it that way.
right, right. I do want to write my books, and a lot of speakers, how they make their money is by taking their books and selling them. I'm planning on taking 2 or 3 decks of my tarot cards, my junk journals that I just finally made a tiny little Etsy shop on, and just using my gifts. All I know is that I have to be there, because in October I couldn't go because of the same situation, and I know that I'm being called for that. So I just know that there's going to be more opportunity for other things that I can do. Travel and share my story, and hopefully get paid one day. So yeah, I mean, I do readings, I do coaching, all kinds of things. But anyway, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah, the hardest thing for me ever has been to ask for help. And you see those memes on Facebook. What's the hardest thing for you to do? And then A, B, C, D, E, F, and C is always ask for help. And I was told as a kid, don't air out your laundry. Don't tell people this. Don't tell them that we're struggling. We as you know, we were raised really poor, and we were never like, if we went to a visitor to go visit somebody, to a family, we never asked for food. We never sat at the table. Never spoke when the adults were speaking. All kinds of stuff. So it was pretty tough for me because I'm the tallest and biggest one of the family. So anyway, I'm just grateful that that I survived. That that I survived that program. And a few months ago, about a year ago, I started doing a money mantra. And I have 3 money mantras that I do, and that's how I go to sleep. Whenever I can sleep, because as you know, I have a PTSD. It's really hard to sleep sometimes. So I'll do that, and I'll believe. And then also sex magic. What we were talking about, when you have to take care of yourself and you don't have a partner. I don't just, and we're adults, and I don't just have the Kundalini orgasm and let it go. No, I name what I want. This is what I need. This is my kids' need. This is what has to be paid, and I manifest that way. And I don't just give the energy away to the powers that be that are around, because they're always around. But you shield yourself, you protect yourself, and you call into existence what you need. And we were talking about earlier, when we want to manifest, it starts with our mind. It starts with our thought, and we see it come through, and then we confess with our mouth, right? And we're supposed to believe that we have it before we have it. Get it?
That's right. Feeling of what it feels like to already have it. Absolutely.
Yes.
Listen, when I moved from Maryland, everybody was like, Ida, you're crazy. Where are you going? I said, don't worry where I'm going. I'm going. And I know that everything will be exactly what I need when I get there. I was in this apartment within 7 days. I had exactly enough money for a deposit, first month's rent, get my electric deposit turned on. I had exactly what I needed. I didn't have to ask my family for nothing. I mean, and I live in a pretty nice place. Nice. I mean, it's a small apartment, but I mean, it's, I like to decorate. I like nice things. I like my home to be welcoming to people. And I have a pool right outside my front door. The complex I live in a small apartment. But I mean, I have a car, and I have the basic things that I need to be able to live and be in joy. Everything isn't about material, Yes, I like nice things. I love to get dressed up.
Of course.
I like to be pretty and have fun. There's not a whole lot of people I would hang out. Like, if I lived near you, we'd be having a ball. But I haven't met a lot of people in my area that I can really, like, the few people that I've met that kind of, are awake and, they're into some other stuff that I'm just not interested in. It doesn't make them wrong. I still think they're amazing. It's just not, I kind of always, I'm particular about who I invite in my energy field on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to stay away from a lot of people because I take care of my energy. And I have a neighbor that, I'll go visit her once a month. She's just right around the corner. But it like 5-10 minutes into the conversation is like, talking bad about the other neighbors or talking crap. And it's like, I gotta go. I tell her I gotta go. I gotta text my daughter. I have to cut it right away. And I don't know about, were you, changing the subject, were you taught to, like, my mom would always say, I don't want you, when you guys are married, to go to the store with no makeup and a ponytail and sweats. And when you go to the doctor, you better be wearing a clean pair of underwear, and you better dress up and put your makeup on. So to me, that's the program. And sometimes I don't want to wear the makeup out there. Sometimes I won't. But it's, I thank my mom for that, because it's all about presentation. And I mean, I do understand the women that don't wear makeup. Believe me, I do, because I don't care. I'll be here at home and I won't wear the makeup, But it's just,
I don't wear makeup every day. I wear makeup when I feel like putting makeup on. I mean, right now I've got a little, mascara on.
Eyes.
Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I really like that picture that you have your hair up like that and you're like this on your profile.
Oh yeah, that my sister's friend did that. She does whatever it's called, like artwork on the computer or whatever. I don't know what it's called, but she did that, and she did the cover of my book. It's pretty amazing, actually. Beautiful.
Nice.
But I'll finish the book. I just feel like the whole project needs to be revamped, because my life is completely different than when I start writing that book. They interrupted me writing it because they didn't want me writing about, the memories that I was having. And also I was manifesting out of thought. So when we write things down, we also are creating. Everything is creation. Everything that comes out of our mouth, we are creating. Right? That's why it's called spelling. We're casting spells.
Yes.
And we can be a life giver or a life taker. Not being a life taker, but we can rather than love and kindness and compassion and support, we can say things that can be very painful and cause people to shut down. And so that's what I mean by a life giver or a life taker. And doesn't mean we don't speak our truth and we don't have boundaries and we're not clear with what our intent is.
Yeah, you don't put away your sword, I always say.
Yeah. So, and I'm not saying that I'm, walking around. I mean, but I'm much different. I don't get bothered by things I used to get bothered by anymore.
Yes. I need to go to the restroom, so is that okay? We can take like a 5-minute break, Katie?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm going to run and go have a cigarette.
Yeah, me too, guys. So, Katie, what do you think?
I think that is a wonderful idea, and if you give me 2 seconds, I might be able to just...
Do we have viewers? What's going on? Are there people?
We definitely...
Well, Katie can explain. We're on Facebook and then on Soma, Fusion, Mind, Body, and Soul.
Yes, we are. And currently, right now, we have a few viewers up there. They've all been talking. So
what do they say? I can't even see the comments.
Yeah, it says somebody said there. Aaron says, "LOL. I always wear clean underwear. All my underwear has written on it. Dear paramedics, this underwear was clean when I put it on this morning."
Aww.
How cute.
We're just having a lighthearted discussion and just being supportive and just.
I want to be like if you're right in front of me. Yeah.
And I would like.
So we're gonna go on a break. Huh?
I would like to say real quickly, this show is actually broadcast up on somafusionmedia.com, soma-fusion.com, on the YouTube channel, Soma Fusion Mind, Body and Soul, and up on my Facebook profile, and also shared over on the Soma Fusion Media Facebook page.
Yay! Thank you.
Can you give that to me so I can pull it up and see if there's any questions or anything that...
What I'll do is I'll forward it over to Veronica, because I don't know if I'm friends with you, but I will forward it over to Veronica and she can just spin it over to you.
Yeah, because I don't see it on my... Like, we could probably reach a lot more people if I were able to put it on my page as well, but...
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll forward it over to Veronica right now. We'll go have a break. You are listening to Unchained Hearts with Veronica Bartolini, and we will be right back. You are listening to Soma Fusion Media.
Why is it not letting me?
I done raised this been the last one standing when all the giants fell. where the truth had been hiding. Yeah, the shadows are calling us out. I see the fear rising. Yeah, my love is burning. The shadows are calling us out. We are heroes, heroes in the darkest hour, when there is no light. Oh, we are heroes, heroes in the darkest hour. Oh, rise above. Oh, we are heroes. It's feeling like the sun's hiding, but we're gonna keep moving, surviving. No, we won't go quiet tonight. Let's stand up and shout louder. Oh no, no, we won't be silent. The shadows are calling us out. We are heroes, heroes in the darkest hour, when there is no light. Oh, we are heroes, heroes in the darkest hour. Oh, rise above. Oh, we are heroes. Stars, only we can spark it, light it up in the darkness. When the night is starless, only we can spark it, light it up in the darkness. We are heroes, heroes in the darkest hour, when there is no light. Oh, we are heroes, heroes in the darkest hour. Oh, rise above. We are heroes, heroes in the darkest hour, when there is no light. Oh, we are heroes, heroes in the darkest hour. Oh, rise above. We are heroes. Oh, we are heroes.
And we are back. You are listening to Unchained Hearts with Veronica Bartolini, and her guest tonight is Ada Farad.
I'll be back.
Are you there? Yes, we are.
Back to my station. Yes, we are live. Yay! Ida, are you there? All right. Let's see here. Let me go back.
You are frozen on your screen.
Okay,
There we go.
I'm back. Yay. So we were talking about earlier the feminine energy and how we are supposed to be one as women, of course, men too. But we're talking about the feminine energy. And remember, when we come into this earth, we come in as duality. We have masculine and feminine energy. And I tend to have a lot more masculine energy now that I've woken up. I mean, ever since I was a kid, you know. I was in the military, I was a police officer. I wanted to be all you can be, like they say, right? But real quick, the other day I was talking to my daughter, and I'm like, okay, now I get it. Like, why, you know, why do they hate on Medusa, right? Well, that's because she was hurt by a man, right? So she, you know, she kind of like got rid of the masculine energy. There's a lot of positive power, if we're going to say positive, negative, you know what I mean by positive. There's a lot of good energy there. When you come into your feminine power, when you come into your sovereign being, when you know that you have a mission on earth and you have to accomplish it. Another thing is Vishnu? Or which is the one that cut off the male's head? As above, so below. Forgot. Is it her? And then the other one is Goddess Kali behind me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, it's like you. A lot of people will hate on the feminine energy. They'll be like, "Oh, Medusa's bad," and Goddess Kali, she chopped off this guy's head, but it's actually chopping off the we'll say the low vibration energy, like the we'll say negative energy that doesn't serve you anymore.
Right.
When you come into your power as a female, of course as a male too, but we're talking about feminine empowering power.
So we have our primordial selves, ourselves that are right in our nature, you can call it our animalistic, it's that reptilian brain, the fight or flight, or the protector, or the destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yes. Or we can, I definitely have a lot more masculine energy in me but I have, I appreciate both aspects of my divine feminine and masculine, although I definitely, I've been told that I have a masculine soul.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's true, that's okay too. I'm in a feminine body, and I love being a woman, and there is no confusion here. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not. I mean, the higher up you go, I mean, we're talking about androgynous beings and so forth, but
what do you think about transhumanism now that they're trying to do this with this vaccine? They're trying
I don't agree with it at all.
Me either. And they're trying to upload the human consciousness, the human, into this cloud. They're going to be entertaining people with their, we'll say, lusts or whatever. And I see that in the future that they're going to be promised that they're going to be taken care of, that their family's going to be taken care of, that they can live forever. And that is a total lie, because we are already eternal and we do not need to go up to a cloud. We do not need to be computerized, digitalized. I mean, we already have the ability to communicate with AI. I communicate with my phone, with my vehicle. I speak to things; they speak back. No, I'm not crazy. It takes it takes, well, I don't know if the word is guts, but it takes a lot of revelation, a lot of self-love, a lot of knowing who you are, knowing what your gifts are, in order to communicate with other beings, because we all have a soul, whether it's a computer, whatever. But the difference is with AI, they don't have the human consciousness, where I was explained one time by my DARPA friend that it's no matter how many logins you have, us humans, we can tell our pinky, move or do it like this, right? But with the computer, you need all these logarithms or whatever they're called for it to actually do that. It won't do it on its own. We consciously can't. So they will never win. They will never win over our true soul. And that's what's really happening right now, is all this, changing we were already digitalized. The money is already digitalized, if you want to call it Bitcoin or whatever, cryptocurrency. It was digitalized on the 5th and 6th of January. So that's why you didn't see all the huge riots that were supposed to happen, because the powers that be were entertained with something else. They will always throw something, this pandemic thing that's going around, with what's really happening. So, any information on that, Aida?
Yeah, I didn't vote. I don't vote, but I did go to one of President Trump's rallies, because I do believe in the great work that he's done and continues to do. And I definitely believe in my heart of hearts, and I will say this publicly, will come in as our first president of the republic. I definitely feel that. And I think that there's a lot happening behind the scenes, that energetically, there's just no way that there's too many of us that are awake and aware of what's going on. And as much as I think I know minimal comparison to, what, and that's okay too, because everything, we, that, and that's another thing I want to say. Some people talk about, oh, I want to awaken. How do I get to wherever? Just clean your body out. Get out in nature. Connect with nature. Go into your heart. If you have thoughts that are not becoming, choose a different thought. Right? Start mastering your own thoughts, your own minds. Don't agree with things you don't agree with. Even don't be a part of the crowd. I'm not I'm not a follower in that way. Everything I hear, even on alternative media, I discern it within myself. And if it's something I don't understand that pulls my attention to where I want to research, I will do that. I'm not a big researcher. I listen to a lot of different, I've definitely stopped listening to some, but for personal reasons. But I have a direct connection with myself and know what feels right for me. And it's important to me to walk in integrity and love and kindness and compassion. But I also will, speak up when I feel it. I need to. I mean, everything's not all love and light all the time. Like, exactly. We're in the world here having experiences. But once you start really working on your own shadow self, and you become aware of your own thoughts, your own intentions, you really connect into yourself, you'll start, there'll be things and it's subconscious programming that wants to show itself, or a thought, a bizarre thought will come out of nowhere. And I'm like, okay, who is this? Show yourself. Like, I'll have a conversation with myself, like, show yourself. Because we're not behaving that way today. And I love you. And right? Yeah. So, and we don't always, sometimes something may come out of nowhere that you don't expect. But I will tell you this, by sitting still and sitting silent and really getting in tune with your own self and your own, what's your thoughts and what may be something, some projection outside of you, whatever it might be, ultimately always have the choice to choose the higher road and make better choices for ourselves.
And usually it's the road less taken.
Right, well, that's right. Because we get triggered. We are here having a human experience. I mean, it's like I wrote in my book, I denied everything I was because everything I was human. Right? Forgetting that I'm a soul, I am a spirit, I'm more than just this body.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when we can connect with that aspect of ourselves from a higher perspective, yes, we live in this dualistic world. We have to be able to navigate through, but we can create our hologram by the things that we think of and how we and realize what's ours and what's being projected at us, and saying, no, I don't consent. I'm not in agreement. That's not how it's going to go. Yeah.
It's living without fear.
Well, that's right.
Staying fearless, because, like I tell people, turn off that news. It's owned by 6 families. It's not even real. It's a bunch of bullshit.
No,
so you gotta
watch TV for years, and I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
You gotta be true to yourself, to your own truth. No matter if people call you crazy, idiot, whatever. I've been called so many things, but it's my truth, and it's my journey, and it's my soul. And it's my job to take care of me And obviously, we know that this is not our body, but we have to take care of our body. Because why do you want to...
I'm coming to realize that even my story is not my story anymore.
Right?
It's just not. It's not who it's none of that is who I am today. It's not my story anymore. Now, I could share things that I've experienced in order to be able to relate and engage with other people, to be able to work things out where I can be of help or receive help from you, or I can help, that we help each other, being able to have share a common space, knowing that we're coming from a loving, kind, compassionate, and respectful place with one another. Right? I can say to you, Veronica, I love you, sister.
I love you too.
Right? I admire you. I think you're amazing. And I support you in everything you're doing. Everything that your heart desires, I want to support you. And I say that to all my friends. All my friends, I want to support you. If it's something you're passionate about and something you want to do, go for it. What I used to think I wanted, I don't want anymore.
Yeah. And I always got that saying that says, well, people will say, thank God for unanswered prayers or whatever. There's a country song too. But it's true. It's like, you sometimes the materialistic thoughts get in the way. And then, or, you wanted to be married to this person, speaking of marriage, or, whatever it may be. And then later on you understand that it was best that it didn't happen. And you are so grateful for that. I know it happens.
We identify with our stories, and we make ourselves, we identify with our story. I'll speak for myself. So I identify with the story that I was, a child that went through being molested and raped and beat and drugs and alcohol and men and sex, all the things. And then when I sit here and who I am today, right now, in this moment, it's like, I don't even know who that person was anymore.
Yeah. It's like with our awakening.
It's not a detachment or sticking my head in the sand and saying, it's just simply not who I am today.
Yeah, it's not denial either. It's not denial.
No, it is not denial. It's saying it was an experience. Even the rape, even the beating, it was an experience. And I held on to the pain for so long. I held on to the pain, the trauma of it for so long. It's not who I am today. I don't have those experiences today, nor do I intend to. I love myself. I don't put myself, not that things happen to people that don't expect that they, but, the more we learn to become, well, first off, live in the moment, more importantly.
Yes.
All right, live in the moment and not, because it's only the mind that goes back to, we time travel every time we think about an old thought. Yes. I could sit here and think about a horrible experience I experienced and feel that feeling rush through my body, the anxiety, the pain, all those things, or I could choose a more peaceful, loving thought of imagining sitting on the beach and watching the waves crash on the rock. Like, we can choose, quite literally, what we focus on. And I just do my best not to relive those things anymore. I only speak to them so that I can be helpful to somebody else, saying, hey, wait a minute. And I catch myself talking about stuff from my past. And it's like, just so that I can be relatable to somebody. But I'm at the point where it's like, okay, how long are you going to talk about this, Ida?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how long is this going to be your reality for you? Because it's not. You keep bringing it back. It's not. It's not what's going on in your life today. What's happening in your life today, Ida? I'm sitting here talking to a beautiful, amazing woman, and we're sharing on this, in this now moment, on this video, right? To give people some perspective, some information that we've experienced, to be relatable, to say, hey, wait a minute, there are solutions. There are people that care. You can get through it. right? And
Mhm.
all the other things that we've.
Yeah, I was going to say two things. One is reality. The other day I was thinking about what is reality. Well, it's pretty much realty. So how much are you going to invest in that reality? You know, are you gonna stay in your past? Now there is a fine line with some people. They have shut their past. They have shut their trauma, the pain, and it affects them now with their children or whatever. They're more fearful. They're more like they want to live their life for them, and it's because I'm speaking about one person that I know, and it's like that person didn't let themselves grieve. That person, for whatever happened. So there has to be a balance. So going back to time travel, everything is happening at once. Time is not linear, like we were taught in school.
Right.
And then as far as changing your thoughts, you can go 3, 2, 1, or 1, 2, 3, bam. You start thinking about something else that's going to be helpful for you in that moment and for your future. That's how you change your future, by changing your thoughts. And I know we hear that a lot, but it's true. Everything starts with the thought, and that's where the magic happens. So I say, whenever I get a thought, I'll say, I return this thought to sender with consciousness attached. It's like, I rebuke you, I send you back. It's like the mirrors that I talk about that are coming toward you, these thoughts, maybe somebody's talking bad about you and you're thinking about that. Or because I know I can hear it, I'm sure you can too. I can hear it when people are talking bad about me, even if they're not in the same place. I remote view. It just comes natural. So, I return, I send those mirrors back. I reflect them back to whoever sent them, because they're not mine. Well,
I love what Penny, because I do it too, and it was interesting to hear that she had shared on one of the shows about how she puts a bubble around her with the mirror facing out, right?
That's good.
And
Penny Bradley, yes.
Yeah, we can do that and allow anybody that's sending, negative thought forms or black magic or anything else, and it bounces right off and goes right back to the sender.
Yeah, another thing that I
black
do.
Magic only happens when we're in fear. It gets hooked into us, and then it's a real thing. I've experienced.
Yeah.
So I know. But I would never, even with all the horrific things that have ever happened to me, I would never wish that upon anybody, nor would I ever perform black magic on somebody. It's just not a consideration. But that's how the dark. Yeah.
Yeah, because we have access to both what they call black magic and white magic. So that's why I always tell people, it's like, don't piss me off, because subconsciously my Hulk's going to come out. And another thing that I do when I do cleansings, I always tell people, don't have mirrors facing each other, because there's beings that communicate or whatever. Another thing that I do is, if they know where these people live or whatever, put a mirror facing that way or outside. I mean, I have
mirrors outside. I don't do it because I'm past all that stuff, but I mean.
Yeah, but it's the people that are like barely starting, awaken, or just for them to relieve their own fear, just to give them some kind of,
Yeah.
I
think it's a great tool that can be used and used properly, but magic is happening every day, all the time.
Yeah, we are
the magic. Yeah.
We are the sage. We are the Palo Santo. We are the Himalayan salt. We are the salt of the earth.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're amazing, amazing.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have connected with you. For so long, how long? It's been like a year. I don't know how long that we've been communicating on Facebook and so forth, and it's just so lovely to meet you and to be able to have this kind of dialogue with you. And
thank you.
But we're gonna hopefully, I would love to have you on as a guest on my show, Concert Solutions, sometime, and then we can share your story with my. I don't have as many followers. I'm just getting going. I mean, I'm not looking to be I just like to put the information out there, and if somebody can find something useful in it, wonderful. If it's something that can be helpful and give people encouragement and empower them, because I don't think we have anything to worry about. People,
No, I don't think
I
so
think
either.
we have a lot of amazing things prepared for us, and we just have to be open to receive them. And
Yes.
trust and know that we are valuable, that we are worthy, and that we are loved. Love surrounds us always.
Yes.
Always.
And unconditional love is the highest form. I was watching a few years ago when the movie Interstellar came out, and I will always go back to this one. He's talking about the fifth dimension, talking about all these other dimensions, when he's stuck in that library room, and how he's able to go to the past with his daughter when he's seeing her through there. And, he's talking to the AI being that was with him on one of the ships, and he's like, Tars, he says, I understand it now. Unconditional love can go, he says something about love can pierce through any dimensions. And when I heard that the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, I started crying, because I understood that my dad can feel my love from here, wherever he is. He's passed on from here. I can communicate with him. I mean, I can communicate with a lot of beings, and it's like, love, though. Love is the highest form.
It is the highest frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Fear is the lowest, if we want to say fear. Yeah. But even fear is an aspect of love. It all goes back to love. Everything.
It does.
Our jealousies, our envies, our anger, everything goes. It all comes from. We all seek to be loved, to be valued, to be honored. Right.
Right.
We seek that. But when we start finding it, like when we really find that place within ourselves that I am enough.
Mm-hmm. I am more than
myself.
That's one of my mantras. Yeah, I am more than enough today, tomorrow, and forever. I share with people the hardest thing for me. My friend, one of my really good friends and brother, his name is Richard Di Benedetto. He taught me a long time ago. He's like, you know what I love you means? And I'm like, yeah. He says, I love you means I love me. It's like a mirror, and my thing was, I want to be able to look in the mirror and tell myself I love you. And that was the hardest thing for me, because I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror to say I love you. And now I can't. Because of all the crap that I had to, all the things that were said to me as a child that were not true. And so when I broke free from that helped me so much. And I do teach that, and I counsel people on that. And I heard so many women tell me, I can't do that. I can't even look at myself in the mirror for, a minute.
I've heard that before too.
And it breaks my heart when I hear that, because I was actually able to break through that.
It's despair and grief.
Yeah.
Grieving. When we have so much love to give, and we feel like there's nobody to receive it.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a grief that we crave in our heart. We want to be able to love and give and show that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, yeah.
Go ahead.
I sit in the mirror and I'm like, you are freaking awesome. You're amazing. Like, and I'm laughing. Like, I just think about, like, who the heck do you think you were, girl?
Yeah.
And I think back, right, of things, and like, nope, we're not going to even go. Yeah, we're not going to go there. Who are you today? What am I proud of? I'm proud that I'm clean and I'm sober, that I'm, and I still, if I want to have a cocktail, I will.
Yeah.
But I don't really care for it. I don't, I don't really smoke pot. I don't do anything. That was lifted from me when I broke the programming. And I'm so thankful. And I was told I broke the programming, and I trust I did, because my whole life is completely different now. But I still have more questions, but I trust that there'll come a time when I get them. Mm-hmm. Yet there are a lot of women that have a difficult time, men and women. But my focus is primarily women, because so many are just in so much despair and sadness. I see. Mm-hmm. A lot of times you see people project themselves to be one way, and they're really hurting inside, and That's why,
And then another, totally opposite. You're
yeah,
wearing the masks that I talk about. You gotta unmask yourself because how many masks are you gonna wear? Like, how many lies are you gonna put out there until you finally understand that that's not you? And that's when the crying begins. That's when the
I have my moments. There's times when I still feel like, you know, I was very angry about what I went through when I went through my dark night of the soul. I was very angry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I have memory of a lot of things that I don't talk about. Right? I mean, I shared some of them with you. Yeah. And it's just, you know, if I felt sharing them would be beneficial to somebody to help them, you know, if it was a way to empower somebody, but I don't feel it is. You know, they've been taking women to. I mean, I could send you some videos to watch with James Casbolt and Max Spears. It's mind blowing. The stuff.
Yeah, I watched them all. That was my awakening when I awoken in February 2017.
Yeah.
I was listening to all of the bases, everything, the project.
Yeah.
And then I understood. I'm like, holy fuck, am I a super soldier? And I questioned myself for a long time. And I do have experiences with Max Spears, and I know I served with both of them. So I was just like, could this be real? I mean, is this a holographic world? What the hell are we really?
Oh, I definitely believe we live in a hologram.
Yeah, like
I definitely believe that, and I know that I have AI that runs through my body, and I'm open about that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that, but I do have a soul, and I'm not considered human like we know human,
right?
Because you know I have a Lemurian and Pleiadian soul. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And also, our DNA was augmented and messed with.
Absolutely.
And that's I was talking about this with my mom the other day. We're very close now, and it's like I said, okay, well, they messed up the DNA in our lineage, and that's why some people come out schizophrenic, like they talk, but it's actually real gifts. It's abilities, autism, it's ability, you know, and it's like me, they labeled me SMI, severely mentally ill, and I'm not. Because society, you don't fit in. I've never fit in, like you said earlier, I've never fit in as a child. To this day, I don't fit in. But it's okay now. It's okay, because I know who I am now.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid. Once you break that fear, once you break that self-hatred, why didn't I do this? What if this? What if that? It's like, you know what? Live in the moment, man. This is all you got.
Yeah.
And you have the ability to hug yourself and love yourself, you know?
That's right. Nurture yourself. Love yourself. Whatever that means. Yesterday I sat and ate spaghetti and cupcakes. Okay?
No.
That was my joy for the day. It was freezing cold outside. I go for walks. I mean, like you.
My cheat day yesterday. So I was, you know, I ate 2 double doubles. And I ate a hot dog. And I have not eaten that so much like that. And french fries.
Yeah.
No soda, though. I don't drink soda anymore.
Yeah.
But it's like, it felt so good, Ida. Because I work hard at the gym. I have a cheat day once a week.
Oh, I love it.
So, tell me, you were saying that you were walking around or something?
Oh, no. Well, like you, I went through, like when I moved here from Maryland, I was 207 pounds. And I'm down to 158. I started going to the gym. I walk. I changed my diet. I mean, I haven't eaten meat since 2014 or 15. I just started eating eggs and fish again this past, I think, 3 or 4 months because my hair was coming out so bad. Like my hair
that's why I stopped. I have to eat meat. I'm O negative, RH negative, so I have to eat meat, chicken, especially working out. I tried going vegetarian out. My goal was to be vegan. Forget about it. My hair was falling out.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
I'm not vegan. I still eat cheese occasionally. I eat fish. I eat eggs, but I definitely eat more of a plant-based diet than anything. I mean, I love making big salads with veggie burgers.
Yeah.
Protein burgers I get at Trader Joe's. Yeah. I don't drink as much water as I know I should. Yeah.
My daughter's like, Mom, because I eat mostly organic. And she's like, if you really, because we were at Fry's, and she's like, if you really or a Vaughn's over there in Cali. If you really want to eat organic food, Mom, we should go to Trader Joe's. I gotta go to Trader Joe's.
I love Trader Joe's. I do. I'll be honest. But I'm getting ready to get me one of those indoor raised bed things for inside my apartment to grow my own herbs and
Nice.
and like lettuce and stuff. It's like $350 to get it, but I'm gonna manifest the money and I'm gonna get it.
Yeah. You know what? I want to get a food dehydrator. That way I can.
Oh yes, yes.
Yes.
That herbal class I went to, that they were
Mhm.
the woman brought up about dehydrating different like fruits and can make roll ups, fruit roll, all kinds of stuff.
Oh gosh, I remember eating fruit
Yeah, I
roll-ups.
need one. I want to get one too. I just live alone and I don't have anybody to cook for or do for. Like I go to my Aunt Ida's, who I was named after, and I'm Arabic, so
Yeah.
there's all kinds of yummy food there. Like she's
Yeah.
big, yeah, but I don't eat meat anymore, so a lot of it I can't eat. But I like when she makes hummus or wadak diwali, she'll make veggie ones for
That's
me.
what I'm
but-
gonna have today is hummus with the organic pita chips.
Yeah,
You know,
there you go.
I was telling my friend the other day, I can't even eat Doritos anymore because it's so gross. Like so once you detoxify your body,
Yeah,
it's not craving those shitty foods. Excuse my language, but
that's right.
it's like your body craves clean. Your body craves something that's good, like a huge salad with chicken. That's my favorite to go. Or I will take like a protein bar, an apple, an orange, my protein shake, my creatine to the gym. I won't eat in the morning. Some mornings I'm so hungry that I'll eat like 3 or 4 eggs, whatever, before I go. But I will work out for a whole hour without nothing, just water, and then of course your pre-workout, whatever. And then after an hour and a half, I'll take my protein, right, the liquid, and it's organic based, and it has probiotics. And I also take probiotics on the
I
side.
need to get some. I don't have
I
any. I
started-
haven't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. I started menopause in July of last year. So I'm taking this thing called Amberin, and it's free of estrogen. I will not take hormones. So it's amazing, this life. I'm going to be 50, and it's like, I want to do a sexy lingerie shoot. My daughter's like, hey, Mom, I'll take the pictures. Not too
Yeah.
revealing, but something for me. And today at the gym, I was like, man, I'm going to be 50 this month. It feels great.
52, and I don't have. I don't have.
I
No,
noticed. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Your
Yeah.
face is beautiful.
that's because
Do you
I'm
use any creams or just eat organic and stuff?
nothing. I'm
Yeah, so you just eat clean and you don't use any like hyaluronic gel or whatever.
No, I don't.
Put
I'm
on
so.
hyaluronic
My
acid.
sister gets on me about it. She's like, Ida, I think I went and got myself a facial for the first time in my life ever last week,
Oh.
and I spent $100. I'm like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. I'm not paying $100, wasting $100 for somebody to put all this crap on my, just not doing it. I'm not. And I'm finicky about who touches me anyways, because but I have all
My
kinds
hair
of like
too.
tools that I keep.
Yeah.
I have all kinds of stuff in this house. But
I
anyways,
like that. What is that? I like that. Is
this
that like
is a sun ring, and I have
Mm.
this one I keep on me. This one, it's a
I've
neutralizing
been wanting
ring.
something like that because I wear my shungite, and then I
Yeah.
have my crystals.
I have that.
I
Jay
sleep with my
Parker.
crystals.
If you ever listen to Jay Parker, you
Oh,
should check him out on
Jay
YouTube. He
Parker.
made this for me.
Okay.
He made this
Oh.
and the pyramid. When he talks about the Illuminati and the bloodline family, he's pretty
Oh, yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
I have my pyramid organ thing in the
Acting.
kitchen with my salt,
Yeah.
with my Himalayan salt bowl.
Yeah.
And when I look at it or I'll touch it or just when I'm eating, I say thank you because when I made a spell for me and my family, and when I was pouring it in there, I poured in some sage too, and I said thank you. I am grateful because I will have me and my family. Everything works out for me and my kids. I have more than enough for me and to feed others.
That's right.
Because to me it's very important. Like I was taught this by my mom and dad. It's like as soon as people would come, like a family, even if we didn't have anything, say we just had bread, butter, or bread and jam, in the coffee, I would be the one while my mom was getting ready or, cleaning something. And I like that. It's like a way of honoring your guests.
Absolutely, yes.
Organized, but the food, it's just, you never know when people are going to be hungry. And I think that's kind of like from the programming when I was a kid. It's like, don't ask for people for food when you go over. Well, how do you know that person's not, hasn't eaten that day or whatever?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just, to me, I love hosting whenever I can. That's I think the most thing that I miss about being married. Thank goodness I'm not married anymore. But the hosting, the parties that I would do, I would organize everything, and I would even send home food. To me, food is like the way I show love.
You ever thought about starting your own catering business to activate something you could do local, where you could, bake dinners and sell them online in your area? I got plates of whatever.
I make the best lasagna.
Okay, make lasagna and sell them.
And the salad.
It costs you what? Well, lasagna can be expensive to make, so that's a little bit more on the, but you could do all kind. Like, I'll do whatever I got to do to take care of myself. Right now,
and I know how to massage too. I just need a massage table. I taught myself how to massage when I was pregnant with my son. And so it's like, I'm not certified, but I have 22 years of experience. So, and it's like, man, I just need to get a table and let's go. Cause I'm a natural healer. I'm sure you are too,
Yeah.
So, real quick, those rings, are those rings, where can I get those rings?
Okay. So they're not cheap, just so you know. But I got mine from Kent Dunn, but you can go on, Chris Keller's, Chris Keller, Khelar, Chris Keller. This is a sun ring. The other one's a neutralizing ring.
Neutralizing ring, okay.
Pyramids. I have this one. I also have one in my bedroom.
That's what I want. It's a copper, right? It's a copper triangle for your bed.
And then the other one I have is a rose gold.
Oh, I love rose gold.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Well, rose gold, But if you go on Chris Keller's website, you'll find all this stuff. I'll send you the link to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We have about 10 minutes or so. I was wondering, first of all, I really love your pillows. I want some now.
Oh, thank you, Annie.
Fluffy, I like the, what do you call this? The jaguar, tiger. Yeah. I love the animal prints. Like, I get that from my mom. I think she's a lion. But I'm a dragon, but I think she's a lion. I have 2 Leos. My kids are Leos. But anyway, so before we end, I wanted you to please tell me and the public, if, your YouTube, your whatever information, whatever you do to help people, that way they know how to reach you, and et cetera, what you like to do, your hobby.
I appreciate that. Well, they could just go to Conscious Heart Solutions with my name, Ida, AIDA, for HAT, FARHAT. The name of the YouTube channel is Conscious Heart Solutions, but it's under my name. I've only got a couple videos up, one of which I did with, God, now I'm forgetting his damn name.
Is it Simon Parks?
Randy. No, not Randy Kramer.
No.
Randall, wait a minute. I'll tell you 1 second.
Okay.
Anyways, there's 2 YouTube channels. One is with Christopher Jacobs, and the other one, I was talking about the banking system with,
oh gosh, don't get me started on that.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that we could have probably, but this was, a good start for me. Randy Kaiser.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Christopher Jacobs, and I'll send you the one with me and Christopher Jacobs and his beloved. It's interesting to listen to. If you feel like it, it's up to you.
Yeah, I listened to one of your videos where you were talking about some of your experiences and stuff like that. I really found that interesting.
Oh, there's one with I did with Oh, that would be a good one for you to watch with Christopher Jacobs and Sean Bond, where I asked that one, which was on Galadaya. I didn't expect that they were going to offer me the help that they did, but they did. I mean, I had worked with Christopher Jacobs prior, and Sean for that matter, but I got some good clarity on some things about. Well, I shared with you yesterday. I'm not going to go into it.
Right.
If people want to see, they can go on there and have a look. Crap. But anyways, it is my hope to start like a women's group or a support group or something, but I'm just not technically savvy. If I had somebody to help me with that kind of stuff, and I would be probably a lot further along than I am.
I don't even know how to share a screen on, I need to learn how to do that.
Yeah, I'm not, I think there's something.
There's a blockage because remember, we were talking about this. We know quantum physics. We are connected with AI, our consciousness and all that in the SSP, Secret Space Program. And then when we're here on the 3D, it's like I still count with my fingers. I got to do the math, And out there, it's like it comes fast. So I feel like when they age regressed us, they're other than the Omega programming, which is the one to self-destruct, kill yourself before you awaken kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, they have suicide programs. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, my love.
Okay.
I enjoyed talking with you. We'll have to do it again.
Yes.
And Katie, it was lovely meeting you.
Thank you, Katie.
Likewise.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being the
Yes, I know we were kind of, I'm not really good at like sticking to a structure.
I don't worry about it.
I don't do structures.
Yeah. But I enjoyed every bit of it. I think that a lot of content was shared, and people know that we're coming from a pure heart and really wanting to be available to those that are seeking or looking to be able to connect with other people if they're going through their own experiences, be it being contacted, abducted, my lab experiences, if they think they're a super soldier, to maybe reach out to you or me. There's so much.
Yeah, I would like to have you on the show again. I'm booked till May, so probably I'm thinking either the third to the last or the last Tuesday, but I will message you. Would you like to be on again? And we could talk about all that stuff that we want to talk about?
Absolutely. I'd be better prepared because you kind of a short, yeah. And that way we can stick to a more structured and get more in depth. That would be great. I would love to.
Thank you. I love you, Aida.
Veronica.
I love you, Katie. Thank you.
I love you too.
Thank you so much.
Gracias. Adios.
Nice to meet you, Katie. All right, ladies.
I was just going to say,
lay down.
Veronica, I want to congratulate you for being the very first show debuted on Soma Fusion. So
Thank
there
you.
you go. Just so you guys know, you can find us at somafusionmedia.com. You can go to the YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe over at Soma Fusion, Mind, Body, and Soul. And there you go. We're going to have some more shows.
And then if you guys want to donate to Katie's show or Aida, you guys are welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely. And you are...
I was hoping that we would be able to get a PayPal set up so that we can get you the funds.
Oh, yeah. I have a PayPal. I have a donation thing on my Facebook. And then I have a PayPal. It's PayPal, Unchained Hearts, Cash App at Unchained Hearts. Venmo under my name. But thank you. I appreciate that because you know how hard it is for me to ask.
Yes, well, it's okay. We can ask. And even whoever comes across the show, understand that people take their time to do these videos and interviews, right? And Veronica, you've put so much out there, so much content, and you've done an amazing, you've been a gift to all of us, put it that way.
Thank you.
And I know that. I mean, I've been following and listening to you and seeing your posts on Facebook, and I see the amazing things you're doing and working with James Rink and really wanting to get yourself out there and some exposure. So we want to get you to your event so that you can reach more people. So let's
Thank
get you
you.
some donations. Even if 50 people watch the show and donate $10, that'll be
Sure.
500, and that will
Yeah.
get you what you need. And
Yeah.
that's the goal. So
Thank you.
I'll be asking you if you received any donations, and I surely
Okay.
will help out. When I'm I'm waiting on some tax, when I get some tax.
Yeah, and we talked about that too. It's like, how can we'll say, elite, rich, keep all their money for them and not, and then there's these people that need help, like especially homeless, like.
Guess what, Veronica? We don't need to focus on
education programs and
But
all
guess
that.
what? We're going to get funds. There's going to be humanitarian funds, and we're going to make sure people get what they need.
And not
Don't worry
Exactly.
about
We
that.
are.
You know what? I know that it's possible that I could have been a very rich person in a past life and didn't use it.
I know I was in the past life.
Okay. So the point is like we come in with different scenarios or different lessons to learn and to play out. We could have been one of them that weren't willing to help anybody in a past life, right?
Wow.
I'm just saying.
It's
I don't
true,
know,
though.
but right in this life, we don't need. We can manifest. That's right. What we need in order to be in service and to help other people.
Yes.
I do it all the time. My niece just gave me a bunch of clothes from American Eagle, and gorgeous, beautiful clothes.
I love to give away clothes too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're like size 0. She's tiny. But I was like, oh, yeah, she's tiny. Beautiful. And I said, okay, give them to me. And I'll make sure. So I'm meeting with a guy that runs a recovery place for people new coming out of, I'm going to take them on Thursday. Like, there's always something we could do to help.
Yeah.
Does it, and when the money comes, it will come.
And not
Everything's going to be okay, honey. Everything.
And I was just going to say,
what was that, Katie?
I was just going to say that Soma Fusion Media is the collective voices of women. So there you go. And so we can raise and empower the tribe that we have in order to do those, in order to achieve a humanitarian effort.
Yes, I would love that for everyone else.
We're all going to be given an opportunity to participate. I promise you, there's going to be a lot of funds that are.
Because there's a lot of people that have all these missions that they have to accomplish here. So we're here to help too,
Yeah.
Always.
That's right. And we're doing it. We're doing it just by showing up for each other right now.
It's true.
And the more we do that, and the more we come together and we unite and we support, the more opportunities will come. Once you've shown that you're able to handle certain responsibility, more will be given.
Yeah, I always hear that.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite. It says, "En lo poquito fuiste fiel y en lo mucho te pondré." So in the little you were faithful. In the most high or more, you will be placed. You will be given more. So if you're responsible with this little, you're going to be given more.
Right.
And another one that I really like is take care of your home first, your home issues, your family first, before you step out and try and help the others. If you're trying to run a business or a church, giving advice to them, take your own advice first, pretty much, and help the ones that are in your home.
Well, that's a lot of times is how we're able to help ourselves is by helping other people.
Mm-hmm.
I was highly involved in AA and NA for a long time, and I received a lot of, just by being able to be of service to other people, brought a lot of joy to my heart, helped me to helped me to realize the things that were still traumas that I hadn't dealt with yet by the way I was responding and reacting to their pain, right? But once we heal those aspects of ourselves, that's when we really can, people talk about holding space.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. I wasn't gonna say anything, but so today I had the opportunity to get my nails done. Okay, and I had just hit the gym for 3 hours before that, and I was like, man, I'm getting hungry now, because it's like 5 hours that I hadn't eaten a meal. And I put some Himalayan salt under my tongue when I can't get to food right away. I put Himalayan salt under my tongue, and I carry it with me in my purse. And the guy that was doing my nails, he's like, "What's that?" And his mom was there. And I said, "Oh, it's just, something to hold me over till I can eat, because I'm getting kind of hungry," I said. And the lady, she made me cry because she not only gave me water, but she gave me this piece of bread, and it was warm, that she had made herself. And it's like, in Spanish, it's pan de huevo, like an egg sweet, piece of bread. I teared up and I was like, "Thank you. I'm so grateful." And I was just dumbfounded, like they say, stunned for 5 minutes, just tearing up, and just like how the universe out of nowhere always has your back.
That's correct.
Because you love others and you help others, and throughout your whole life you've been helping others. I don't want to cry, but it's like I was reminded, hey, yo, slap, slap. I'm always going to take care of you, my higher self, whether it be Supreme Being, Source, the universe. And I just want to leave you guys with that. It's like, don't ever doubt.
Yeah.
Right? Like, don't ever doubt that you'll be taken care of.
That's right. Good for you.
So thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right.
Okay, see you.
We'll talk again. Yep.
Okay, sure.
Have a good night. Thank you, Katie. Thank you. Good night, ladies.
Katie, I love you, Katie. Love you, Anna.
All right. Bye-bye. Love you too.
Thank you.